friends. Chris Kelly here. Hey, end of the week. There's stuff going on, so let's talk about it. At least regarding the wide world of real estate here in Portland. So, all right. Without further ado, let's pop over here and talk about things. So, listing inventory is up a bit. Nothing like over the top dramatic. Sales closed transactions this week. That's pretty low. That was down a lot. And that's I'm not concerning to me, but I think a reflection of, frankly, some of the volatility that's in the marketplace, economy, just the goings on of the world right now. So I feel like that has a lot to do with that. That said, I'll pivot in a bit here to, just kind of how the market feels once we're done with this document. So days on the market has been kind of holding. It's kind of come up, come down a bit, come back up a bit. But all in all, the median days on the market being at a month, okay. We were down to like 16, 17 days. And this time last year, we were there as well. So is it slower? Yeah, a little bit. Inventory numbers came up a bit. So that gives people more choices. And that could certainly slow things in the macro, in the big picture. Again, that said, what we're seeing is, the marketplace is for the 8s through 10s, as I always call them, those are still behaving quite nicely. Down here, median sales price kind of staying the same. It's down a bit from this time last year, but overall, it's up a bit. So we'll go a little more stats heavy here this week. I got some other graphics to share, but here's what I'll say. We have had multiple situations in the past weeks where people are either getting into multiple offers, or we're getting offers right away, or we're getting at or over full price. So those things still do happen, depending on price range, et cetera. So I'm going to minimize me here one more time and pivot to, let's see, let's go here. So this is just the inventory in months, which is a measurement of the pace of the market. And you can see here, and this is pretty typical, right? I mean, you can look at this time last year and this time the same year, the year before, and see basically the same trend, albeit there's more inventory in the marketplace. And so the pace is slightly slower. But you've seen 3.7 months turn into 3 months. Will this get into the 2s? Likely, to be honest. Very likely. And I'll tell you why. Largely, cost of money is coming down. I mean, that's if there's any form of silver lining in the volatility in the markets and people's retirement plummeting and all that's going with it, one piece of silver lining is that interest rates are coming down. For those that are interested in being buyers or refinancing or just moving from where you are to where you want to go, that makes life that much more palatable and doable. Money yesterday, I think I looked, was 6 1/8 for conventional money and 5 5/8 for FHA money. Fantastic. I've said this before a few different times, quite a few times last year. If money got firmly into the 5s and stayed that way for a bit, I think you'd really see a surge in activity. A lot of people would get off the sidelines and that want to do something and have elected to wait or just otherwise not do. People will start doing. So I think that could happen. And I think we're, seeing interest rates doing what they're doing. If they continue in that trend and they stay there long enough, that's what will happen. Let's see. Let me go to, let me go to the next one. Oh, this is an interesting graphic just because it talks about percentages. So March 25 versus this time last year as a month. New listing inventory up 10%, pending sales up 3 or just under 3. Closed sales are up. Everything's up from March of this time last year. Not dramatically. I mean, new listings is up a pretty good clip. That's that's the closest thing to dramatic in these numbers as a percentage. However, there's another graphic that I like that I wanted to look at. It's basically these numbers, but in a more granular form. So we can actually look at the data. And this is the interesting part to me. I like the year-to-date numbers. So what are we doing year-to-date? Well, new listing inventory is up. We know was up, and that's not 10%, but it's whatever that is, but 400 or 500 listings. Not dramatic year-to-date. The month-over-month was more dramatic, but even that being 10%, I mean, that's what, it's not that many listings, 250 listings. So, but over here, closed sales, fairly close. I mean, we're up, but not dramatically, right? So, it's 6%, so it's not insignificant, but there's just more going on. And that average and median sales price year to date is only up 3%, the median, 4% for the average. So market time is definitely up, right? That's what we were just talking about. So it's up 11%. Versus the year to date, that first quarter basically of 2024. So again, it's not a huge crisis. I mean, that really turns into what, 78 days versus 70. So it's 8 days. I mean, there it is. It's why it's nice to look at the numbers, not just the percentages, because you can take percentages and make something look pretty dramatic. But numbers kind of tend to put that into perspective. So I just thought it was interesting, and I thought it was worth taking a little deeper look at it. I mean, the market, we have a monthly market action report. That's where that data comes from, and it comes out once a month. So that's data through March. Obviously, we're not certainly barely into April. So, all in all, the market has maintained a steady and even a slight improvement by most metrics. We just had somebody today, a friend and client, and they're looking to buy. And we had a conversation about a house, and it's like, well, how much over are we going to have to go? And how many offers will there be? Or will they be? And I said to her, I said, isn't it amazing that we're talking about that when so many people think the market's just in the tank? It's not in the tank. Demonstrably, by the numbers, it's not in the tank. It's just not doing this. It's doing this. Flat to slightly better than flat. So I think what will happen if rates were to plummet, let's say, you would see a dramatic increase in activity and almost immediately thereafter an increase in pricing. It's just how it goes. So is the opportunity good right now? Yeah. Inventory numbers are higher. There's more to choose from. It's taking slightly longer to sell, which is great. By and large, it gives you the opportunity to look at something and maybe have a second look. Is it a strong buyer's market? No, it's still a seller's market by definition. So, but it's a fairly, I'll just call it a balanced seller's market. So it makes it pretty palatable to be a buyer. And to be honest, if you're doing it by the numbers and following, good inputs, good advice, it makes it decently easy to be a seller too. Where people fall flat is when they try to pretend it's 2021 and they try to say, well, we can be 10% over on our list price and get away with it. No, you absolutely cannot get away with it. That's the difference. And so I just looked at a ton of comp data today for condos, and it was really clear when people were wrong and they didn't adjust. They were on the market 200 days. I mean, on these little $200,000 or $300,000 condos, I mean, entry-level stuff. It was super clear, and it showed up so obvious in the numbers that when you're wrong and you remain obstinate about being wrong on price, the market just responds with nothing. And you sit there and you either get to keep owning it or you make the adjustments and eventually sell. And that was interesting because there were some of these that sold after like 200 days or 150 days, and they sat for the longest time, and then they finally adjusted, and then you saw them go. That's just how it works. That's the beauty of the market, I would say. It really doesn't care about what I think or what you think. It is what it is what it is, and it's going to do what it's going to do. So heeding that and paying attention to that and acting accordingly, you'll have success as a seller. It's just how it is. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that because I have a soccer practice to get to. But I will say, let's see here. The last nugget is just an invite because it's coming up at the end of the month. Our annual paper shred event, spring cleaning, 'tis the season. Bring your things that you need to get rid of that you don't feel comfortable just throwing in the garbage. We're here to combat dumpster divers, at least where documents are concerned. So we always do this here in the east parking lot here at our office here in Gresham, right behind Elmer's. So all the info's here. If you have friends or family that have things that you'd like to consolidate and bring, that's totally fine. Or just have them come with you. It's all good. We have a truck. We have coffee and donuts. We have hugs and high fives. So anyway, there you have it. Hope to see you. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the sun. I was just out looking out my window to make sure it was still sunny, but I hope everything's good. And as always, we're here for you and yours. If there's something that I can be doing or that my team can be doing, just reach out. Let's talk about it. Okay? All right. Till the next time.